Hello everyone and welcome to episode 5 of Drogheda United Pre-season Weekly. This week I'm delighted to be joined alongside by Drogheda United defender and new recruit for the 2021 season, Daniel O'Reilly. Dan, how are you?
How's it going, Luke?
Good, all good, all good. First of all, I just want to start it off. How are you finding the lockdown? Obviously yourself, you're a personal trainer, so it's obviously a big effect on yourself.
Yeah, obviously, look, it's been tough for everyone, especially in my industry. We're kind of a lot of stop-start over the last probably nearly 12 months coming up to March, so it's been quite tough. But I suppose you just have to try to take the positives and start doing a lot of stuff online, which I know other trainers have as well. So, yeah, it's just kind of taking a different approach and trying to stay busy as well, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we discuss any sort of pre-season, I want to talk a bit about your career so far and your early career because the fans get a clear idea and they know a bit about you. But you played with Fulham underage. How did that move to England come about, and how did you find playing in England? You also played with a few different clubs over there.
Yeah, I was playing underage with Cherry Orchard for four years, I think, and I was over and back to different teams on trial, and then I just ended up signing with Fulham. I felt that was the right move at the right time, and obviously for every kid it's a dream to go over and try your luck in England. Look, it's very tough over there. I knew that before going over. Obviously I had high hopes myself, and it just didn't really work out over there for a lot of reasons, really, and I'm sure other people and players are in similar boat. But yeah, it was. I enjoyed my time there. I spent 3 years there, and I did learn a lot as a player and as a person. I think it matured me a lot as a person coming home, made me more independent, and taught me a lot of things with football as well that probably invaluable. And from such a young age, I think that it stood to me in a lot of ways. When you get different setbacks, which of course are going to happen naturally during your career.
Yeah, I think you came back then to Ireland and you signed for Bray. How did you find obviously playing with Bray?
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. Alan Matthews gave me a call, and I kind of made my decision that I wanted to come home anyway. So I felt the time was right, and I needed to really give myself a shot at playing senior football. Like, you know, I was so used to playing academy and reserves, and there's only so long you can really play that, and you want to try test yourself against obviously senior pros and more experienced players. So it was tough enough at the start coming back, because obviously I didn't know what to expect, and it made me realise that the standard of the League of Ireland is very good, you know, in terms of the actual players here. And I knew of a lot of players that had come home similar age to me and done the exact same. So it wasn't like I wasn't thinking of it as a step back. I was just more so looking forward to kind of rebuilding my career and actually getting on the ladder of playing first team football.
Yeah, Alan Matthews, as you mentioned there, the League of Ireland manager who's had a lot of experience managing in the league. Did you learn much off himself, because it would have been obviously a pro in the League of Ireland as a manager, you know what I mean? And did you learn an awful lot by him?
Yeah, like obviously I didn't know Alan beforehand, so when I met him, I was obviously happy with what he said, and I was just excited to get going. He obviously has a lot of experience managing different clubs, and I actually worked under him again at Longford. So I enjoy playing under him, and that's where I bumped into Kev then as well. He was assistant to Alan at Longford too.
Yeah, also didn't you leave then and go back? I think it might have been to Longford and then back to Eastbourne United. Who you were with? I think you might have been with at at the early stages of your career, and then went back over.
Yeah, I was kind of in a between phase in my career, like, you know, like I was in and out, I suppose, of teams, and I wasn't really getting the consistency that I needed of playing. So that would have been prior to the second time of linking up with Alan. So I was kind of just, I suppose I wanted to experience another kind of side of football. And I suppose you could say a bit lost in where I was going. Which as a young player, it's quite hard because you just want to play all the time. And you have to realise that there's obviously going to be older, more experienced players ahead of you. And for whatever reason, you just might have to sit back and like count to 10 and just keep working away. And obviously as the years go on, you'll develop that experience and play more.
Yeah, you had two different stints as well with Longford, as you've mentioned, under Alan Matthews. But you obviously went over, and then like coming back to Longford, was that just the right decision for yourself to make at that time?
Yeah, I felt I was much happier at home in terms of my surroundings, obviously. And I don't know, when I came back the second time, I felt really determined in terms of where I wanted to go and where I wanted to be in my football. It was kind of like I suppose, a kick in the arse in terms of, right, it's now or never in terms of building your career. Like, it's obviously you have setbacks and you've positives and negatives in your career, but sometimes you just have to accept it. Maybe you haven't been good enough at certain clubs, and like I said to you there, it was just kind of a kick in the arse.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking, like, there must have been like a quality over there in England. Like, you went over at a very young age. Look, that's probably a reason, you know what I mean, that some of these young lads, that they don't really make it when they want it. Like, when you have the quality here in the league to stay in the league, do your time in the league, and then that's when you look at options over in England. The likes of Sean Maguire and Daryl Horgan, who are all still playing really, really well in England. Do you regret making that move at a young age, or did you feel it was right at that time?
No, I don't regret it. I think it was right in terms, like, if you're a young boy, I suppose, and you see a Premier League team calling, or even a championship team, you're obviously your eyes are going to light up. Like, you just think it's an opportunity. And I was too young, and the League of Ireland, like, underage wasn't really prominent at that age, so it wasn't really like it was an option of two. Maybe if it was now, like, players have loads of options in terms of development for League of Ireland. Like, there's a lot of good systems set up, so it would probably be a different question nowadays for players.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, moving on to the later part of your career so far, you've then earned yourself the move to the Premier Division, signing for Finn Harps. You had a brilliant season. You had a brilliant season there, really, in 2019, keeping Finn Harps in the Premier Division, and also scoring that free kick in Dalymount against Bows.
Yeah, I really enjoyed my time at Finn Harps, mainly because I was playing all the time. Like, I played 30 odd games, and I just really enjoyed it and relished the test every week against obviously top quality players. And it was a real interesting one because, like, obviously having played in the first division, the standard's obviously really good as well, but it's another step up in the Premier Division, and you nearly question yourself before you're doing it. So you're going, right, this is it. Like, you'll find out now whether you're good enough or not. And I just felt like week on week after playing game and game, I just felt like I was, like, becoming more confident and, like, able to express myself as a player and show my strengths.
Yeah, obviously Finn Harps, we all, as Drogheda fans, will know that night in 2019 where Finn Harps nipped it right at the end of the 113th minute. Must have been a brilliant night for yourself, but not for us.
Yeah, obviously, look, it was very tough for you guys, and in terms of being 1-0 up from the first leg. It was a really good tie. Like, both legs were really tight. I thought Drogheda had a really good squad then as well, and to be honest, they've kept a good bulk of it now, which is really important. Because it's so easy, like, when you get a setback, to kind of go right, we'll rebuild. Like, but yeah, obviously it was a really good achievement for the club, Finn Harps, staying up, and obviously for me, it was probably like what we set out to do at the start of the year.
Yeah, you moved down to Shells in 2020 when they got promoted to it. It was a difficult year with COVID, and also without fans, it was difficult. And it was obviously, very difficult for Shells because without their fans, because Shells have brilliant fans there in Tolka Park. How did you find 2020?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. It was a really weird year for everyone in terms of obviously football, but for everything else, like, it was started off obviously great. It was obviously playing in the Premier Division again. I thought we started off half decent, and then it was kind of put at a halt, and then, like, the season was kind of a bit all over the place with the like less games. So it was kind of a stop-start year in terms of football and progression, obviously, as a player. So yeah, it was probably quite a difficult season, like, obviously for the team, but for myself, I found it like a tough enough year.
Yeah, you've now signed for Drogheda in 2021. What made you want to sign for Drogheda leading into this season? Drogheda's first season back in the Premier Division since 2017.
Yeah, well, I met Tim in the off season, and I actually spoke to him a couple of years beforehand, and like I just liked what he had to say, what his like his ambitions, and obviously like the squad he has now. Like I said to you there, like you've kept the majority of players, and I think that's so important.
Yeah.
Whether you're in a first division or Premier Division, like there's really good quality in the squad, and keeping that group together, it's so important going into the year ahead. And like look, Drogheda have always been a great club, and it's really good that they're back in the Premier Division, because I suppose it's where they belong. It's been a tough few years in the first division. You know yourself, it's so hard to get up with the system in play. So yeah, it's just I'm really excited about the year ahead.
Yeah, you signed alongside with two fellow ex Shells teammates in Gary Deegan and Collie McCabe. You know, two players that you'll know very well. So how much of a benefit do you think that will be to yourself, because you've played with them before and you know exactly what they're like?
Yeah, obviously, look, it helps when you're not coming in somewhere and it's unknown, like, you know. But like even aside from Deegs and Collie, like I know a lot of the lads just from over the years. I've played with a few of them at Bray and stuff like that, and so that really helps. Like it's like I feel like I've settled in straight away. It's a really good group in terms of togetherness and stuff. So like the transition, it hasn't really been hard. In terms of before maybe going to other clubs, like you're kind of going into that unknown. You don't know where you're going to stand. So it's been fairly good. Like,
yeah, you done your first full week last week, and you're nearly there for the second week. Coming to an end of the second week, how have you found it so far, and how have you settled in with the rest of the group? I know you mentioned there you know them quite well, and I know that you know Jimmy Brown as well quite well from past. So there you go. You know what I mean? How have you found like settling in with the rest of the group?
Yeah, it's been really good. The sessions have been really good. Like we're a really fit group, which is a brilliant base to have. There's a lot of good quality even early on in the sessions, like, which is so important, because sometimes it can kind of be a bit all over the place, you know, people getting together, getting used to each other. So like I think the demands from the group that Tim had last year, I think for the players coming in, like you have to get up to the standard straight away. And I think the likes of Collie and Deegs, and obviously the other lads he's brought in, know what to expect. So that's really important in the early stages of pre-season.
Yeah, this is sort of towards the fans. What can the fans expect to see from a player like yourself?
Well, I'll always give my all, 100% every game. That should be a given, I suppose. I think I can bring a lot of qualities in terms of with the ball. I think I've got a good passing range. I think I'm a good defender. So I think I'll suit the way Tim wants to play. So I'm just looking forward to getting some games, especially the friendlies now under my belt.
Yeah. Before I let you go, I'm very grateful for your time, because obviously you have a very busy schedule with training and that this week. For yourself and for the team, what would be your goals?
I suppose being the first season back in the Premier Division, like the main goal would be to stay up, you know. Obviously we feel we have the quality in the group, so we just want to, I suppose, take it week by week, and hopefully we can go out there and do the business, and please God the fans will be able to come back as soon as possible.
Yeah, we're very grateful for your time tonight, Dan, and we wish you the very best with your new club and with Drogheda.
Thank you very much to Dan for his time. We hope you enjoyed episode 5 of Drogheda United Pre-season Weekly. Check the links in our description to see all of our various social media platforms. Hit the subscribe button and the bell button to be notified of our next video. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time.